also have my buddy, my colleague,
Oh,
Paul, and one OG. I'm sure you guys can hear me okay, right? I have a loud mouth. You don't need, I don't need a microphone.
I've been telling you that for years.
So we really wanted to surprise you guys with a 2-operator parachute mobile today. You were only expecting one, me. And we were going to try and do a dual parachute mobile for you, but unfortunately the weather is not cooperating. It might tomorrow, but don't hold your breath, all right?
If you just cross your fingers.
Yeah, just cross your fingers and go, please, pretty please, let it be good weather for skydiving. So to that end, we can't obviously jump, but we can tell you about what it is, about how we jump and how the parachute system works. And then you can field any questions you might have about it. I'm going to unpack my entire parachute. The only thing I ask is that you don't walk on it, okay? We're gonna put it down on the floor. Is there a broom around here somewhere? No? All right, no big deal. I'll use the backside there. We're gonna unpack it. You're welcome to come over, you're welcome to touch it. You're welcome to feel it up and understand how it behaves. Just please don't walk on it. That's the only thing I ask, okay? So don't be afraid about coming up. So Paul got his license recently, so I'm gonna lean on him because I also know that I have a lot more experience than he does about it, so he might have questions that I haven't thought about that I want to field for you that might be things that you might be interested in. And I'm putting him on the spot. He doesn't know that this is coming, right? So be gentle with Paul. The other thing is, Paul's dog is Watson. He is not a pet. He's a service dog, so I know everybody loves to come to the puppies, but please leave the puppy alone. All right? Cool? Cool. So, parachute mobile. Who was here last year? Okay, so you guys get it. You guys might remember the reason I do this. But so those of you that were here last year, don't say anything. Why would you think that one of us would do, either one of us would do what we do, parachute mobile?
Some of them aren't licensed. Why don't you explain what parachute mobile even is?
Ooh, you know,
Because several kids don't even have a license.
okay, so you don't have a license. Some of you don't have a license. All right, cool. So what do I do? What do Paul and I do? We go up in an airplane, and instead of you being here on the ground and saying K1OG, K9OL, and him going
K9OL and 1OG.
right? Instead of doing that here on the ground, we do it from a parachute, right? We have a different place to do it from. That's not the ground. Any thoughts on why we might do it from the air and not from the ground? Don't be shy. Go ahead.
Because it's fun.
That's one reason, absolutely. That is
That
absolutely
is
the
the
reason.
primary reason.
Be able to talk farther.
Be able to talk farther is absolutely another reason, yes.
I was good for that.
The man behind you.
Signals will be stronger.
The signals will be stronger. You think that's true? What makes you think that?
Because there's no trees or anything in the way.
Okay, that is very valid. Yes.
It's not literal, but like to literally be on the air.
Yes, to be on the air while in the air, right? Miles?
Physically the line of sight.
Exactly, greater line of sight. Similar to what you were saying, stronger signals. It doesn't make the radio any stronger, but because we don't have walls, we don't have ceilings, things like that, my 5 watts out of this thing goes a lot farther. You had your hand up over there. Nope. Somebody had their hand up over there.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to say get QSOs.
To get more QSOs, for sure, right? So, the other reason is because, I don't know about how your mind works, but if it works anything like mine, I hate theory, right? If I tell you in theory, X, Y, and Z, and you're going, prove it, dude, I don't want theories. Some of you may be that way. The reason I first took this in the air was to prove out the theory that there's a null under the antenna. And if you don't know what a null is, pretty simple. Is there a donut around? Do we have a cup anywhere nearby? No? All right. You guys know what a donut looks like, right? So, right? So if you rotate the donut so you're looking at it from the top or the bottom, there's a hole in it, right? And the null on an antenna like this one is supposed to be directly above it in kind of an expanding sphere, and directly below it in an expanding sphere, right? But we can't prove that on the ground. That works great in theory, right? It's really cool when you have a brain like mine that is super busy and always wanting to know the answer that's really true instead of somebody's telling me that is true. And take this in the sky. And if I point the antenna vertically and you're directly below me and I key up the radio and I say N10G K9OL and he doesn't hear me, N10G K9OL and he doesn't hear me, and then, okay, he's directly below me and he's not hearing me. Let me see if I tilt this antenna, N10G K9OL.
K9OL and 10G 59.
Dude, I just proved the theory, and literally my very first jump, that's how it works. So why am I telling you this? Not just because I want you to know how this all started, right? I want you to know this because it's curiosity that drove me to do what I did. It's wanting to know that drove me to do what I did. And if you are in a position where you're curious, you have the ability to test the theory against reality, it is perfectly okay for you to do that, right? Stay safe, mind you. Don't do something foolish and get hurt, okay?
Good example.
Uh,
When I was in Florida,
okay.
all right, I wanted to know, could I talk on my radio through my All-Star node, which was down on the ground?
Hang on, quick timeout. All-Star is a system that allows you to talk through the radio into the internet and out of the internet into another radio farther somewhere else, okay? Continue.
Yep. And so I wanted to know, could I do it? What's the best way to figure that out? Try it. Because you don't know sometimes unless you try it.
And you know, sometimes you have to try 2 or 3 or 4 times or sometimes more before you figure out what it is you're trying to sort out. But that's where experimentation comes in, right? You are young, you're possibly starting in this hobby, and one of the things we say in the hobby is that this is the hobby of experimentation. There are so many things you can experiment with, and you should totally do it because you can, right? And if you need help, all you have to do is reach out to someone that might know a little bit more and have them help you, but you can totally experiment. Case in point, Paul and I met on a podcast, right? And he was wondering about skydiving. He said, maybe someday. And then I said, well, quit doing someday. Let's talk about today, right? So he went on a skydive, fell in love with the idea of skydiving, and now he's doing parachute mobile at the same time as I am, and sometimes without me, because he was able to lean on me to say, hey man, what have you learned and how can I avoid getting hurt?
And how can I learn from you?
Exactly. You know, in skydiving we say, learn from other people's mistake, because you won't live long enough to commit to make all the mistakes yourself, right? Same thing applies in the world of where we're in, right? In amateur radio, we're talking about dealing with RF energy that can hurt, so you got to be safe about it. We're also talking about angry pixies coming out of the wall, right? Because we're plugging in equipment and whatnot, and it can hurt, so we got to be safe about it. But the key is, if you have this curiosity, find a safe way to explore the curiosity and answer the questions for yourself. And that way you can say, I definitively know that there is a null above an antenna and below an antenna because I tested it. I don't have to take anybody's word for it, right? So that's the reason I do what I do. And I think Paul is sort of in the same boat. I think Paul's more in the boat of, this is fun. Who said this is fun? Who said this? Somebody said this is fun. All right, there you go.
100%. That is my primary reason for playing radio and for skydiving. They are both fun.
So, now, common question. How long are you in the air? On average, we're looking at about 1,000 feet for every minute. So if I get out of the airplane at 10,000 feet, how long before I land? 10 minutes, right? Easy math, right? So, to that end, if I'm able to make a jump tomorrow, Paul and I are able to make a jump tomorrow, understand that we stop playing radio at a specific altitude. That altitude is 3,000 feet. At that point in time, the skydive belongs to me instead of to the radio waves, because I need that time to set up the land safely. My plan is always to land safely. So people go, where do you land? Exactly where I took off from. Right back at the same airport, unless I'm doing a demonstration jump, in which case I already have that figured out, right? So if we get to make a jump tomorrow and you hear me calling out 4,000 feet, know that I have about a minute left. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Okay. Paul has a little bit more float than I do, because we're going to talk about that in a minute. So he might be in the air a little bit longer than me, and he might be able to keep working you guys a little bit more, but he's also going to wait at 3,000 feet, because from that altitude down, we're looking at keeping us safe. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So why does Paul have more float? Why is Paul a little floatier than I am? Can anybody guess? Yes.
Weight less.
He weighs less. What's another reason?
Yeah, shift different.
Parachute difference. Bingo. Weight less and parachute difference are the two elements that go together to change how fast we fall or how slow we fall, depending on it, right? My parachute is 170 square feet, and I weigh 170 pounds. Okay? Paul's parachute is 190 feet, and you weigh what? 160, 170?
160.
Right? So he is not only lighter than me, he also has a bigger parachute than me, which means he's going to fall at a slower rate. Who knows the gravitational acceleration rate? Hang on, you're old enough to get. Let me see if I can get someone younger than you just for a second. Okay, younger? What? Anybody else that's younger? Do you know the? Oh, that's beating you the answer. But that's okay. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Go ahead. Do you know?
Gosh, I'm not in science now. Whatever it is, irrigation there.
I'm people like
You're getting close, but I'm not asking you about the math. I'm talking about the constant rate of gravitational force. Yes. Hang on. Yeah, you look younger, so I'm gonna go with you
For free fall?
for anything.
Free fall is 9.8 meters per second squared.
Bingo. That's the answer. 9.8 meters per second squared. Since we're in the United States, we're gonna go with feet. That's roughly 11 feet. Right? No. 33 feet.
32.22%.
See, there you go. Matt,
All I remember.
Right.
Exactly the metric for
so we accelerate that fast, but it doesn't mean we're going to go that fast constantly, because we have friction in the air, right? In the world of radio, we have some friction. Can anybody figure out what the world of friction would be on radio signals?
Hail.
Say,
Hail.
hail is
Air.
air for us. Yeah, we have some air will also interfere with friction on this, but there's something else that would give us friction in our RF. What do you think?
Radio.
In the radio waves, what would slow down a radio wave? What would interfere with it? What would keep it from going as far as it normally would go?
Water. Clouds.
Water, clouds,
Trees.
Sorry?
Trees.
trees. What else?
Anything that's physically cold or everybody's.
And
Resistance.
not resistance exactly, but we do have some resistance.
Wall of snow.
Bingo. We have structure. Anything that has a structure, trees, dense fog like a cloud would. So if Paul and I are playing radio at 4,000 feet, and we're going near a cloud, guess what's going to happen to our signal? Right? Just because we're high in the sky doesn't mean that we're going to be always able to get as far out. We have to contend with Mother Nature being in the way sometimes. So that same concept applies to the parachute fall, right? We'll set air down here. So you said air is going to create friction on this, and it's going to create friction on my body. It's going to slow me down. It's going to keep me from continuing to accelerate at 9.8 meters per second squared, right? And then we get to terminal velocity, which is, the maximum speed you're going to get based on the amount of mass you have and the amount of surface area that you have. How much time do I have?
Finish.
Huh?
How long you need?
10 minutes maybe with the parachute?
Perfect.
I don't want to run into the next.
No, you're
Right, you're good. And wait for it.
Cool. All right. So we talked a little bit about the reasons why. We talked about how it happens. Now, I know you guys don't want to hear me talk. I've talked too much already. Paul,
But how do you do it?
how do I do it? I jump out of an airplane and then I pull the parachute. So let's show you how this all happens. Paul, will you be my demonstrator? All right, come on, everybody, let's go first back. What do you think?
No.
This system weighs almost 19 pounds.
Yeah, I just.
So I'm gonna have Paul do a 360 for you guys slowly here in a minute. But keep in mind that he's tightening down the strap of the system. Okay.
So you're supposed to have a giant fan so it goes out behind him?
Oh, can someone give me a giant fan?
Put a helicopter with?
Yeah. All right. So go ahead and give me a full 360.
Wait, stop, go back.
Go back.
All right.
Sit. She's the boss. Go ahead, continue. So, the system obviously rests on your back. We have two handles in the front, one handle in the back, two handles in the front, three straps in the front. Leg straps on either side, chest strap. Why would we need a chest strap? Anybody want to guess? Go ahead. Bingo! So I don't fall out. That hurts. That would hurt.
So you don't dislocate your shoulders?
No, the thing is, you wouldn't dislocate your shoulders. Is if you don't have the chest strap on when you deploy, the parachute's pulling this way. So now we're talking about physics a little bit, right? The deployment portion, no matter which way you're oriented, the parachute's going to go this way. And if he doesn't have his chest strap on, this will come right off his shoulders. He falls out. Now have a lot of paperwork to fill out because he died. I don't like paperwork. Right? So all right. So now, Paul, do me a favor. Turn so that your side is the pilot chute is that way. So, Paul's going to mock a deployment and go ahead and do a full fall and throw.
All right. So free falling.
The wind,
Time to pull.
the wind is coming from this way, right? Because we're facing belly to earth.
Belly
Wind is
down.
coming this way. Wind is coming this way.
I'm gonna wave to let anybody else know that I'm about to deploy my parachute. I'm gonna reach back and throw it out.
Okay. When he throws that parachute out, go ahead and relax. This thing is a small parachute, okay? See how it catches air? I want to go ahead and open up this pin so you guys can see it. People say, rip the cord. There is no cord. There is no cord. There's no rip cords anymore. That was back in 1970. We're in 2026. We have this pilot chute. It has a bridle. The bridle is tucked away, comes out, and is attached to the pin that holds all the flaps together. Now watch this. We're going to pull the pin, a little loop, pop, and now we have an open parachute. Now, the parachute's in the bag, and this thing is still pulling behind us, okay? This thing is generating somewhere in the neighborhood of about 30 pounds of force. Okay, Paul, walk forward. We have rubber bands holding the parachute lines together so that they come out together nice and easy. And now, the system comes, the parachute comes out of the bag, okay? And as it is coming out of the bag, hang on, let's see. Where's Wayne? Get over here, Wayne Green. You're too tall, you're blocking here. Grab that side. Okay, so hopefully you guys are able to see. If you're not able to see, move where you can't see. Wait a second until the kids they can't see. Are you gonna be able to see? Or did you see it last year?
I saw it last year.
Okay, cool. So now we have a parachute that's catching air on the nose and it's filling up with air. Now we're getting wind resistance, right? This thing is called a slider. The slider is a reaching system that, believe it or not, is there to slow down the parachute opening on purpose. Okay, we're slowing this down on purpose. But as the parachute is opening, it's catching so much air that this can't keep up with it. So this starts to slide down, and we keep on opening the parachute, keep flowing that way. And eventually, we end up with the slider all the way down here. See it? And we end up with a fully inflated parachute. Pretend there's air in it, okay? I need you to pretend. You know, there's a little shake. You know, We're gonna use our imagination, pretend that this is full of air, right? And when it's full of air, it's really heavy duty, and believe it or not, air has weight, right? When this thing is inflated, it's rigid, and when it is inflated, if I'm flying next to it, I can grab it and move it like a piece of lumber. It's really, really weird the first time you do it when you hand someone a sheet of plywood across the air. Okay, so now we have a fully inflated parachute. This thing generates all the friction we need to slow our descent rate down from 120, 130 miles an hour to about 11 miles an hour vertical speed, okay? With my wing loading, with how much weight I sling under this parachute, my vertical rate's about 11 miles an hour, okay? Pulse is gonna be somewhere like 9. Anybody have questions about that so far? Go ahead.
How long does it take to pack this back up? And what happens if you get it tangled?
So, it takes me, under normal conditions, it takes me about 15 minutes to pack this up. I'm gonna pack this up and you guys can watch if you have time afterwards. But it's gonna take me a little bit more time because this floor is slick and it's really, really difficult to pack on a slick floor.
How
Okay?
many times have you packed one?
Oh, God.
I just want us to imagine how many times it took you to get to 15 minutes.
So, it took me probably 200 times before I got that low in time. And, but I've packed parachutes, I don't know, I have somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 or 4,000 pack jobs. Because, well, you know, that's how I started in the sport by getting paid to pack parachutes so that I could use that money to get my skydiving license. Yeah.
So I've packed about 85 times, and it takes me about 25 to 30 minutes.
Okay. So experience matters, right?
Quick question for you.
Yeah.
So you said when you deploy it, the slider goes down to intentionally slow down the pressure. Why would you want to intentionally slow down like that?
Well, we want to intentionally slow down the parachute's opening for 2 reasons. Number one, shock to the human underneath the parachute. Do you need the slider for that? No, but it's certainly a whole lot nicer for my body. Because that opening, believe it or not, people think that when the opening happens, it hurts. It doesn't hurt at all. Not anymore. With slider systems, it doesn't hurt at all. You just kind of swing it like you were in a swing set. The other reason is material. Okay, these things, if you look at them, they're sewn together. These are panels of nylon fabric that are sewn together. They do have a shear point, right? They do have a place where they, if you pull on them hard enough, they will break. And a couple of G's eventually will get that done, right? Any other questions? Questions?
How do you lessen the impact of the landing?
So we lessen the impact of the landing because it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to
Shameless
say
plug.
that. What?
They better pay me for that.
Okay. There's 2 of these. You see how the tail, this is called the tail of the parachute. Wait, there's only gonna be one place where there's 3 attachment points of line. You have one right in your hand. Yep, you can drop the nose, okay? So you see these 3 attachment points, right? Everybody can see that? That's where the toggle attaches. The toggle is the red or the yellow line that he has in his hand. The right side is connected to the right side, the left side is connected to the left side, and if you want to go right, you make sure that you have clear airspace and you pull the right side down. That makes the right turn. If you want to go left, you clear your right airspace on the left, and you pull the left side, and that makes the parachute go down to the left, back to the left. And if you want to stop, and by the way, what happens when you pull that line down is that the back of the parachute is deflecting in that side. So when he pulls the left side, instead of flying, what happens is this, we end up with parachute there, right? Because we're pulling down the left side. If you pull both of them down at the same time, we're putting on the brakes. And that slows us down from 11 miles an hour to about 0 miles an hour and 11 miles an hour. We're translating vertical speed for horizontal speed. Now we're literally shifting the way we're moving with the toggles, the yellow toggles that are attached to these lines, and then deforming the parachute. That's a really good question.
Do you use that mechanism to get stabilization?
Yes, that is exactly what we do. We pull both of those toggles down at the same time, and we slow it. We have to time it. We have to learn how to time it so that we actually get it at the right time. But once you figure that out, your landings are gentler than doing this. They're literally gentler than that, okay?
Before you finish, will you explain to them why you couldn't jump today and why you may be able to tomorrow?
Okay, so reasons why we couldn't jump today. Go ahead and put that down, Paul. There. There are rules about things that fly. There's an organization in the United States called the Federal Aviation Authority, right? Administration. Yeah. Potato, tomato. Yeah. The FAA, I just call them the feds, right?
Feds.
And they have rules about things that fly. Things that fly are not allowed to do certain things unless they have special instrumentation. So we fly our parachutes, we fly our bodies, but since we don't have instrumentation to let other people know where we are, we're not allowed to go through clouds. And guess what rain is? Well, a lot of clouds. So we're not able to jump on a day like today because A, rain hurts when you're hitting it, and B, and I've skydived in the rain, trust me, it hurts.
Oh, it is not fun.
And the other part is, we will probably go through a cloud, and going through a cloud is not allowed because of the rules. If I had instrumentation telling the world where I am, like a plane does, you can totally fly through a cloud, not a big deal. But that's why, safety. Basically boils down to, if I'm in a cloud and no one knows I'm there, another plane can go through that cloud and guess what happens to me?
Bye-bye.
Exactly, bye-bye,
pink
I'll
cloud.
have to do paperwork that he doesn't want to do.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, exactly, deer in the road. Miles?
Have you ever hit a tree?
I have never hit a tree, thank God, knock on wood, all the things you could possibly do, I don't ever want to do. I don't want to do that. Yes.
What do you fly?
Have I ever gotten hurt from skydiving? No. The only hurts that I've gotten while skydiving have been while not skydiving, while we're like this in the ground going, I wish the weather would clear. I wish the weather would clear so I could go skydiving. And then somebody puts a skateboard in front of me and goes, I mean, that's an easy way for me to, whoa, and roll my arm. Yes.
Why and how did you end up skydiving in the rain?
Why did I end up skydiving?
Right.
In the rain. So, believe it or not, you can leave the airplane under a cloud deck. You have to be 1,000 feet under a cloud deck. And I left the airplane at that, under 1,000 feet under a cloud deck, and about 30 seconds later, the storm actually broke, and now I'm getting pelted at 120 miles an hour, and let me tell you,
Little glass beads.
it hurts. If you want to feel even remotely close to what that feels like, the next time you're driving with your parents and it's raining outside, just roll down the window and stick your arm out.
Little glass beads.
And you're going to pull your arm back in real quick. Yes, ask your parents. Ask your
Or
parents.
apologize later.
Very good advice.
Yes.
Parachute malfunction on you or someone you know?
Not on me, again, knock on wood, but that's a great question that follows it up with, how many parachutes are in this backpack? Two, right, two. So the bottom that you saw me open is the main parachute container. It came out of here, okay? Do you need attention? Okay. The reserve parachute is up here. This thing that you see here, so you saw the pin on the bottom, that's the pin for the top. If I were to have a malfunction and the thing is just like going, you know what? Nope, not it. I'm not gonna land that. I have two handles in the front that are associated with it. This handle disconnects that main parachute off. Okay, it literally just says goodbye and ejects. You see the three-ring system here? The three-ring system is a disconnection system. So when I pull that gray handle on my right side, what I'm doing is I'm actuating the process of disconnecting the three rings, and then that parachute goes away. Once I have that parachute clear of me, I follow it up with the handle on the left side. And the handle on the left side, you will see, has a steel cable, okay? And that steel cable comes up to this. This is the same steel cable. Look, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that there. Hold it, hold that up. Well, hold this up so that they can see. I'm gonna pull on the reserve cable on the other side. See? One and the same cable. So when I eject the main, I use my reserve, the reserve handle, the reserve handle pulls the pin from the reserve closing loop, and then the same process that happened with that parachute, but coming out of the bag and inflating, happens with my reserve. Now, the obvious next question is, what if your reserve fails? Right?
Nice knowing you.
Bye, Carlos. Nice knowing you, buddy.
Thanks for the
The
paperwork.
likelihood of that happening is near none. Near none, but not none. Yes. It does. There are two lines in the gray handle. Okay. You see that there's two yellow lines there? Everybody can see that? Yeah? Okay. When I pull that one of those yellow lines is behind the three ring systems on the right. The other one is on the left. And when I pull the one, I'm pulling them both at the same time. Okay? So, all right. You guys have your next adventure set up. You can look me up on the internet. Send me an email. I will gladly answer any questions you have. And thank you so much for your attention. You guys have been awesome. Great questions.